right? So would be great to hear about your own sort of perspective as a as an audit person in the real estate space. What do you see are some of the trends that are going on? What are some opportunities or what are some issues that you're noticing? Just very
general sort of a thing. Just to give a sort of a intro, we are a chartered accountancy firm catering to a lot of property guys. And where we could bring in little value for what you are doing, little more value is having the auditing standards code of the country, and we wrote the auditing standard on the construction standard, development standards. That's a standard which every chartered accountant in the country has to follow. It's a law. Okay. They can't tell no to the law. So we are involved in writing that. We are writing one space of construction because it's the most complex space from the legal point of view.
Okay.
So just to give a general overview, most of them in the construction business. Let us talk from the developer point of view, and let us talk from the consumer point of view separately. From the developer point of view, very few people would come out of the spot. We call it as a spot. What happens in the development business is everybody enters. It's a very lucrative business.
There's no barrier to entry.
There is no barrier to entry. Everybody enters. So you have a ready small guy doing a 20 property apartment. And he does 20 property apartments and he dreams to become one large global player of I want to sell 2.5 million square feet. So the need is underpressed when you look at the greed, and that is the whole issue of the entire industry. Okay. Everybody enters and they think, okay, it's only just putting 4 mortars and 4 bricks, let us build it up, we'll put 4 advertisements. First project is successful, second project is successful, from third, fourth, fifth they are in a dead trap. They don't understand how to do it.
Right.
That is one biggest problem which developers face, and the second biggest problem they face is the greed overtakes the need. Everybody wants to jump from 2 acres to 200 acres across the table.
In one shot.
One shot. They don't understand legal complexities. If you look at half the properties in Bangalore are in legal triangles.
Right.
They just jump from tomorrow morning I'm going. So they do one deal in somewhere in Vartur, 2 acre deal, 3 acre deal. Next deal he talks says, okay, I want to be the next monthly in this country. And they want to raise funds. So actually there are no funds with them. So all of a sudden you see a small broker becoming a land aggregator. A land aggregator becoming a land developer. A land developer thinks of becoming a builder. A builder thinks of becoming a developer. So there is no chain of link except the thought process that I want to reach from here to here. He doesn't have knowledge, he doesn't have infrastructure, he doesn't have money. The government keeps changing.
Right.
And most of them have got their fingers.
Okay.
Except a few beggars. That is where if you see Bangalore as a whole, there are very few beggars. Unlike Bombay or Delhi or any other place, Bangalore has got only around 15-16 beggars. In that super big are only 7. Middle level big are 7-8. The rest of them are, so most of them are actually lost money in the paper.
So mortality rates are quite high.
Mortality rates is very high. Entry barrier is very high. Mortality rates are even more high. That's one thing. The second major problem which happens from the builder point of view is the element of grade. Okay, you can't help that. The business is a business which attracts the maximum number of laws, the maximum number of regulations, the maximum number of eyes. So every damn builder would get raided by 10 departments. So half of their time is gone there. They don't have any time to build the business.
So regulatory management.
Regulatory management is a very large risk.
Okay.
First, they don't know money management. Second, they don't understand regulatory management. And the third thing is available of abundance. If a small builder is there, if 10% doesn't sell, his profit is in the 10%. If it doesn't sell, he's in a dead trap.
Right.
And invariably 10% doesn't sell. It doesn't sell. That's why you see so many people in Bangalore get stuck up with the small segment development, they don't go to the large channels. But when you look at the consumer point of view, he is again linked to this. What a consumer does is, he wants a property, he doesn't want to go to the small guy, he can't afford to go to the big guy. Big guys have comes with their own load of overhead costs, their own load of brand pricing costs, their own load of advertisement costs. So in the same area, the consumer has got one builder who has got an apartment for 50 lakh rupees and the other builder who has got an apartment of 90 lakh rupees. He doesn't want to go here, he can't go there. He's stuck up in between.
Right.
And the small builders don't have a legal team. Big builders have a legal team. He's stuck up in both ways. No, she's trying to buy an apartment. She doesn't want to go to a small guy, she doesn't get a big guy. Exactly stuck up in between. That is where both of them are So in a way, it's a very organized industry from the technology point of view. If you look at your construction management, your landscaping management, your accounting management, is fantastic. But from an economic point of view, it's a very unorganized industry.
Absolutely.
So even when we go for audit, the maximum challenges we find is in a real estate space.
I think only companies like Myntra have a very strong finance team in place.
The rest all of them, if you go to the income tax, 80% of the rate cases are in construction and real estate. 80%. 90% tax evasions are in this, or mining. There is nobody else. All of us in the rest of the world pay taxes. That's a big challenge. And the other risk which comes is all the buyers. The biggest risk, these are the two risks. The third risk which comes is the buyers who are buying the product are techies.
Right.
Especially in the Bangalore space, is a techie crowd. I won't know the statistics. Creda has got the statistics. Techies buy it. When techies buy it, they have to buy it with fully accounted money.
Correct.
They can't buy it with a non-accounted money.
Right.
But a land developer or aggregator has to incur with a lot of cash. So there is a huge amount of regulatory risk there which nobody is bothered about. Until let us see how it happens, and all of them get right. So if you look at the regulatory risk, all the big builders, or all the middle-level builders, or all the small builders, without exception, have been rated. From the income tax, from the VAT, from the service tax, from everybody have been rated. There is not a single bill has not been rated. So that's a fairly large amount of risk.
Okay.
So with all these three, the challenge is the sentiment that everybody wants a bond. So it's a complex game, extremely complex game.
So you talked about money management, and you talked about this
Regulatory management.
Regulatory, and the third one is around the scalability, right? We talked about this. Everybody wants to be the next big monthly. Let's come to money management for a little bit. So on money management, what we heard, when we spoke to a couple of these builders who have come out reasonably unscathed over the last couple of decades, right? What we heard from them was it is possible to manage your cash flows and not get caught in a debt trap if you ask a investor call charge. That's what they told us. If you do that, you can manage this. It's not that difficult. But invariably, what happens is people sort of put money to one project, and once they get that upfront payment from the client, they take that and put it into another land and they get really quick. In your opinion, is it as simple as that? Is that why these guys, because of basic hygiene, that they end up having cash flow issues, or are there bigger issues than that which cause
I think you are very right in it's a basic hygiene factor.
Okay.
They raise money in this business. Small builders have a ratio of in excess of 23-25% profitability. Large builders will have a little lesser profitability. There is a lot of money. But it is more of a financial hygiene they get lost.
Okay.
See, they need to understand that banks won't fund this. No banks will fund a development activity. There is a RBI regulation for that.
Right.
Banks will never fund it. They have to use their own funds, and they have to depend on the advances of the customers.
Correct.
And customer would always hold back the advance because he wants to get the property, then only give advance.
Right.
So the home hygiene of selling it at the right price and keeping the project growing and make your money in the last few apartments is the golden rule, but nobody follows. The golden rule nobody follows. The moment they get a little name, the first project is getting over, they go.
They start stretching.
All of them are stretching. So if you look at a small scale builder, let us go an example of a very tiny builder who does 20 apartments. His profit is in the last 3 apartments.
Right.
Otherwise there is no profit. His profit is in the last 2 or 3 apartments. The last 2 or 3 apartments he doesn't wait. When he sells 10 apartments, he is already looking at the next project. He is gone. And they don't have the infrastructure of financial management. They don't know how to estimate a rate. How is it going up? It's a pure gut feeling.
Yeah, I mean, most of them don't even have business development teams, right?
They don't have any business development team. And of course, the small guys don't need business development. If they do one project, the second project will sell. There's only 20 apartments. Sell by chance. You don't have to sell by choice also.
This market, you throw it out, it has to hit someone.
It has to hit someone. So they don't, if you see the small builders, which is actually, most of them think the mantris, the Salar Puriyas and the embassies are occupying the space. It's actually not true. If you look at the segment, the small guys who are doing 40, 30, 50 apartment guys are occupying the bigger space. Now a monthly may come up with a 3,000 apartment or a 4,000 apartment, but there are 100 fellows coming with a 30 apartment project. 100 guys.
It's a very important point you're making because when we spoke to some of these big builders, right, one of the things we heard from them was this volume of land trading that takes place, let's say today, as a precursor to what. Very good, sir.
We call them 30, 40 guys.
The guys who buy big plots in
They just make a 30 by 40 property. They buy 20. They don't buy 1, 2. They buy 20 units. Each unit sells at 1 crore.
Okay.
They sell with the thing that I have an independent house, you are buying an apartment for 70 lakhs, but I'll give you an independent house at 1 crore. 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom bungalow I'll give you. Those are the guys who are selling. They take revenue land. They don't even take BDA land. They take it at cheap prices. Good construction because they are standing and constructing. They don't have an outsider. It's an idle ready fellow sitting and constructing. They have the brains. They do the entire project at 60, 65 lakhs. Outer limit 70 lakhs.
Solid profit.
They have a 30 lakh profit.
Solid.
They finish it in 8 months.
solid profit.
Solid profit. 8 months they finish it and they do 15 projects, 20 projects. I got clients who do 20 projects, 20 of them. And every time they come and sit down and tell, this year I made 5 crores. I don't have bank OD also. What should I do? This year I made 3 crores. I don't have bank OD. What should I do? They make money.
Even a couple of these large builders, I mean, the name, Vijaya Builders, you must know, right? So financially, they say we don't run on debt and all this. It's very clear. Whatever is running on what is available. And
They're doing well.
they're doing very well.
They got rated.
Hmm.
But they don't do large projects.
Yeah, of course, they're getting large.
300, 200, 200.
Yeah, 200.
200. They only.
Correct.
They don't do large ones and burn their things.
Right.
So 300, 200 ones, somehow they'll sell.
Right. The moment you run 1,000 months, it's a challenge.
1,000 ones is the challenge.
Unless you have some PE funding to actually give you that muscle, they'll not actually work.
And it's over trading. Everybody wants to do over trading.
Right.
We got this building 31st March 2011. We entered this road and somebody told it's 12,000 bucks per square feet. Fine. We went to the owner, he told 13,500. We told okay, take. 1,500, it's a matter of 30 lakhs, it's okay, take. He sold it at 13,500. We did the registration in 1 week's time. We put up this building, and in 1 year the prices have gone to 26,000. The next building we are doing inquiry, he is talking 26,000. 1 year.
The friend of mine who picked up in 4th block at 50,000, 50,000. This one.
Crazy.
Yeah, we met him.
You
We
might
spoke to
have-
him.
Ravi.
Uncle.
I mean, SGR building. Yeah, his son.
He can afford to buy it 50,000. But now it's gone crazy.
No, he says, no, I asked him, I said, does it make sense? He says, I'm getting an offer for 60,000 rupees. And he made this deal about 2 months back.
He's quietly confident that he'll go to 1 lakh.
Very, very.
In 3 years.
Rentals are crazy.
Yeah.
Rentals are absurd actually. I'll tell you what. We had an office in Hanuman Nagar. We were paying rent of 25,000. 30 bucks per square. Hanuman Nagar. I have an office in MG Road. It's an up-end office. We have 5 car parks, 24-hour power backup, fully air conditioned, fully furnished, almost like a corporate, top class corporate, fully furnished, and all the works, carpeted, carpeted, everything, with 24-hour generator backup, 50 bucks per square foot. Rentals are unexplained.
I get looks more better than they are taking this.
I get a claim and I tell the foreigner, please be sure you are not going to pay. Every foreigner who enters our office, we tell them, just don't go and blindly take a property. One building, they take at 100 bucks, next building is available at 60 bucks. There's no connection, there's no explanation.
Rational.
Just go around, inquire for 50 people, you will reduce your rate by 50%.
True, very true. I mean, that's what we are actually trying to also focus on saying, can there be transparency? Can there be the common language that everyone can speak? Right? So that's one of our aims.
Transparency will become extremely difficult from builder's point of view because nobody has governance. Very rarely you look at a prestige or you look at a monthly, there is some sense of governance.
Yeah.
Even the large builders, we appear for tax cases with a lot of them, they don't have any sense of governance.
This is usually one visionary, the proprietor who's trying to run the show. Everybody's just tagging along, right?
But they don't have time for governance. They don't have, it's not that they don't have intention for the ordinance, they don't have time for the ordinance. And most of the builders look, okay, in case I get caught in IT, it's a matter of 24% rate of return per annum. I have to pay them at that rate. I am borrowing at 30%. I can as well pay the IT.
That's true. It's a better borrowing.
Better borrowing. Better borrowing. So they don't have
What has happened is, I mean, fortunately for them, a lot of these guys actually have large land banks which have grown drastically in the recent years, and then they start executing large projects. And that's the way actually
All of them. All of them. I have one builder, I can't name them because it's on the record. He started 8 years ago without a penny. Today is one of the largest builders in Bangalore. He doesn't have any great team, no marketing team, point one, no construction team, no engineering team, no finance team. There is one accountant, no finance team. He's constructing 2,000 apartments, 3,000 apartments. But selling like nobody's business.
Because of what? The location?
No, because he doesn't have any extra cost.
So he's pricing it right.
He stands and constructs. I've seen him at this stage when he's constructing 3,000 apartments, molding up there, sir. He's standing. One of the biggest is equal to any of these big guys.
Unbelievable.
Equal to any of these big guys. He's constructed cities. Now he's doing a project of 68 acres.
Also, the challenge here, a lot of these small guys say, hands down, are challenging you with big guys on quality.
Not possible. The hell.
They say, hands down, are challenging you on the quality. My quality is any better than the monthly or the brigade or the.
See, the quality is better from their perspective because they are standing and thinking that is technology.
Yeah.
They don't understand technology. They think putting more steel and putting more cement is a stronger
Caterpillar.
They don't understand it. They don't have professionals to advise them.
Now, this is where some bodies need to come in that can actually do real policing, right?
Real policing. They think putting the best quality marble is a good building. They don't understand what is the earthquake structure, what is ergonomics, what is airflow. Hey, eastern haki sir, baglo, western baglo haki barsil. That's what they do. They don't care. They know about it. They don't understand water management.
Right.
They only know concrete. They can't compete with a brigade quality or a Shobha quality or that stuff.
Absolutely.
But where the difference goes from a big guy and a small guy is, as a buyer I'll tell you, the big guy will look at the end finishing. He knows the snag points. Small guy doesn't bother about snag points.
Right.
And a building is only snag. The big guy thinks everything of the small thing, okay, I have to hand over the keys. The key should have a keychain. The small guy's door doesn't fit it. He says, I put teak wood door. The door doesn't fit also.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Very true. The mindset is different also. Like you said, they're also trying to scoot right as quickly as possible to get on to the next project.
But now the biggest problem which is coming in all the developers is the method of accounting.
Okay.
Earlier we had an option to choose completed contract basis or percentage completion.
Okay.
So what most of the builder earlier days used to do is, my building is not ready, it is not sold, I am not going to recognize revenue. Okay. So I will pay revenue only. So the building life cycle of a building is 4 years. You started taking advances in 2002. Till 2007 you don't want to pay income tax. It used to work. Now the Supreme Court...
Because revenue is recognized as zero, and then after that they start. Or some nominal amount.
Yeah, after nominal amount. Now it doesn't clear. The law is very clear. You have to do a percentage complete method. Whether you sell or whether you don't sell, you have completed pay tax.
Who decides the percentage of completion?
There is a governance body. The income tax department has released several circulars. There are Supreme Court
guidelines.
Guidelines are fabulous. They can't care.
Okay.
They can't care. And rates are quite transparent. So see, technology has evolved so much that a builder will sell a property at 2,000 rupees per square feet, and the same month he has sold it at 4,000 rupees per square feet to another thing.
Right.
It's not acceptable. The law cannot accept it. How can you sell 2,000 same month? You are telling me the balance is cash.
Correct.
So those type of things are getting low.
Okay.
So most of these other builders who don't have governance will be dying eventually. Already a lot of them have died.
Okay.
They get caught in the trap sometime and
A lot of them have died. I know at least tens of builders who have died because of governance.
Who's building 20 apartments or 50 apartments? And what would your piece of advice be on this governance front? What should he do practically, right? What are the 2 or 3 small things that he should do to make sure?
The first thing you have to do is take in mind, pay in mind.
Okay.
That's the golden rule he has to follow. Second thing he has to do is pay as much tax as possible. Yeah, you have to plan very well. Plan it well. Don't do any unethical methods. Develop a banking record. Develop a proper banking record. And third, he has to understand that the more white he accepts, the more cleaner he is, he can sell it to software crowd. A software crowd is a crowd who can pay.
Right.
The business crowd is a crowd who cannot pay. So he can pay 200 rupees more. He can pay the difference. I'll just take this question. Shares with
Yeah,
I literally got a call from somebody. I confirmed him I'm coming.
Mine is some venture of 1600, 1500 and all. But if you actually do 1500, you get fully exempted from your interest.
I see. So correctly.
That's perfectly okay.
So
Thank you.
everybody builds.
That's an important point.
The moment you remember that you have a provision like this, you can actually go plan it accordingly and build your ventures in that way.
Right, right. Why aren't people exploiting that much more? Like, this is like.
Like India, a lot of them not aware of that.
Simple project.
Yeah.
It's a simple logic. But in that also they do some stupid adjustments and things. See what the law tells is, the law tells, okay, have a unit of this size. Some 1800, 1500 square feet, have a unit
There are
of
some standardized sizes.
standardized sizes.
Okay.
The only thing the builder has to do is follow the sizes. That's about it. He doesn't want to do that. He'll tell, okay, penthouse I'll do double. I'll sell a 3000 square feet for a penthouse. And in penthouse he'll make 8 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees extra profit. For the 10 lakh rupees he is getting buggered up for the entire building.
Oh, it's like for the entire building, you should
Entire building they should be compliant.
You have some number like 20 in one residential, 50 in one unit. Specific.
Simple laws. They don't follow.
Or they can actually make 2 apartments and sell 2 different apartments.
What are we talking about? This is an important point. In terms of like, help us understand in terms of numbers, right?
The minimum should be around 1 acre.
Yeah.
Minimum
Some
should be an
list of
acre of thing, and
requirements.
some minimum should be 80,000, 1 lakh square feet sort of thing.
Okay.
That I can mail you. That should be the minimum size to qualify for this.
Okay.
If you qualify for that minimum size and you construct the apartment within a 1500 square feet per apartment, they don't pay any taxes. They're free from income tax.
That is a.
That means your profitability has
I've
gone
not
up.
heard a single builder so far mention this to me. I mean, this is shocking.
Shocking. And big builders have taken benefit. Big builders have taken benefit.
I'm sure they have.
33% of taxes are large. That can almost affect you by 250 rupees per square feet. You can sell it at 250
Or it is your brand equity, right, for a big guy. Not in happy with it.
250 rupees per square feet. And 1500 is a 3-bedroom apartment.
Yes. Makes sense.
Bangalore has become Bombay.
This is gross, right? This is gross area.
Gross area. In that they do some minute things and they do some.
On the team front, what would you recommend? So you recommend it in terms of transaction. Keep it in white, target the IT crowd, and they would be happy. And make sure you're compliant with these building standards, so you get the tax exemption, right? What about on the internal team? What kind of teams should they have in place?
Some of these smaller guys, they don't even need to have a large advertising team, brand building team. See, a brand does not work for the biggest of the guys. It would not matter. A website can clear everything.
Right.
If they can have a decent legal team, a decent accounting team, they don't need anything else. See, today a buyer is very intelligent. He is not coming to the builder and seeing the shushabashi and buying. He is an intelligent, well-informed buyer.
Right.
A clean service tax liability, a clean documentation, and getting a full set. This guy is a clean builder. He has got title deeds for the last 60 years. It's well explained. HDFC will give me a loan. SBI will give me a loan. Right. That would be the bigger thing. People are more worried about whether I'm putting a marble flooring or a granite flooring. No buyer is bothered about that. Buyer is not bothered whether he has a bathtub, whether he can pay another 2 lakh rupees and get everything. Buyer is not bothered about anything else. He just wants peace of mind. So if you can have a legal team and an accounting team who can follow payments properly, who can give him clean deliverables and give him information. This is the building, this is the stage. An information team is very. There is no. In fact, I was looking at one apartment which I wanted to buy in UK. Okay. There are certain reports which no builder in India has said.
Like?
Every fortnight, I know what is happening in that particular apartment of mine. How close they are to the building. How are they developing? What is the type of copper wiring he is using? What is the type of piping he is using? He's given me a choice of 8 tiles to choose from. 8 tiles. Just choose from 8 tiles. No builder in India is doing that.
Because it's the education of the customer as well. Right? If the customer asks, these guys will have to deliver.
So against it,
Who is the developer?
it's a developer called Glenwich in UK, London. I just casually inquired because one of my clients wanted to buy. So let me just go and check out what all these guys are. And the type of reporting structures is really unique. The builders are nowhere. The builders are nowhere. Even the best of the builders don't give, they give a monthly news magazine What is the use of the use my design of your photos? I don't need your
It's basically like classifieds, right? It's not even informative.
It's purely, I would say, to call as transparency, right?
Absolutely level. Exact word to talk. Transparency is something which is everything.
Otherwise, you get sued in the court. That's the problem.
That level of professionalism is absolutely not there. They actually need to treat the banker as the first customer. They treat the customer as the customer. Customer is only a buyer.
See, this would never happen in a place like the UK or the US, right? Because they're all interrelated. Very quickly they'll know, okay, this guy's defaulted here, so they'll, you're a pariah, right? You're kept out.
No, now if you look at the CIBIL rating, there is something called the CIBIL rating in the banks. Majority of the CIBIL rating guys are bankers, property guys. All of them are in CIBIL, so they will never get a loan again. They don't understand the importance of bouncing a check.
Which is common practice now.
It's common practice.
Maybe individuals today, I mean, it's so easy to get on the civil report, right?
So easy, anybody can go and
Anybody
anybody
can
can.
go.
So how do you see CRISIL kind of a bodies actually managing and governing this challenge that you're actually positioning
Positioning for the bank property.
from a developer or a builder side of it? So you said the credit rating is a challenge. They don't manage, and then the developments also get hit because of
No,
that.
CRISIL is already rated all the property days. But what I'm talking about the smaller property days.
Yeah.
Yeah, the organized ones get rated. Right?
Organized ones gets rated. Organized ones get. But the challenge is the entire world looks the organized ones are the bigger market.
You put the iceberg, right? It's a huge fat pyramid at the bottom.
Something like this, only the big four are the chartered accountants. They have very, very small segment of the market. The smaller guys are 2,80,000 guys. Big four are only 3,000 guys.
In India, you mean?
All put together 10,000 guys, big four. The smaller guys are 2,80,000 guys. Huge market.
In terms of credit history, were you also referring to the large guys or is this purely the small
No,
guys?
it's not the smaller guys. Large guys are at least better. Smaller guys are.
They have a public face that they have to defend, right? Whereas these small guys, they can just.
Small guys are atrocious. They don't give a damn.
Actually, there's an allied question to this. So, one of the things that we heard was in planning to develop, and this kind of changes the topic a little bit as well. As developers plan to put out apartments and so on and so forth, and especially the big guys who are more worried about business development or worried about strategy and so on, right? What they told us was 2 to 3 years in advance, they get a sense for what is going to happen next in a certain area. So, for example, now the Devanhalli areas and so on and so forth. Roughly everybody knows it's hot. Question is specific sort of micro markets there. When will they catch fire, so to speak, and start seeing this mushrooming development, right? So they said the volume of land traffic that takes place 2 to 3 years in advance is an indicator of what is going to happen next in that place. We may not get an exact sense of who bought the land, but at least we know that there's a lot of volume going on, which means that 2 to 3 years from now, as the population starts migrating, that is where development will start to happen. Have you observed this trend, and do you have a perspective on this?
I have a perspective, but just put it up.
Yeah.
The big thing is there is nothing else left. Everybody are gone there. Mantris are there, Sadar Pariyas are there, embassies are there, Manyata is there.
So you feel like whatever land purchase had to happen in the northern part of Bangalore has already happened?
It's already
Like now we only have to wait and watch for developments.
We don't develop also, there is nothing to develop there.
So we just wait.
No corporate is going there. Where will the corporate go there? They will either be in the Whitefield area, Sarjapur area, Hosur area. A lot of land is still available there. Unoccupied land is available there. Why will anybody want to sit there?
But why are they creating the SEZ areas there?
And if you see, they are creating the SEZ areas, but there is no development. There is only one property which is getting developed near the airport. That is also hot developed.
In this almost 5 years, no progress on that line.
No progress on that. Just like Sarjapur would be the big, the Kanakpura road would be the big market.
Okay.
Kanakpura road would be a very big
But
market.
a lot of people also feel there is saturation because the residential market is coming up, whereas the commercial market is getting shaped there. No IT companies, there are no large corporates coming in.
Corporates are not there, but its accessibility is much nearer.
Close by.
Ring roads are there, nice roads are there. Metro is coming, so access is available. But surprisingly, Mysore road has not gone up.
Mysore road
It has not gone up.
is not
That's one of the best areas of Bangalore.
earlier.
Once you reach Koppal and Bidadi and all, it's a good area. It's not developed at all.
DL has suffered a lot because of that.
Adyar have suffered a lot. They took a beating.
Probably politicians' money all went outside. Nobody is focusing on this side. It's a herd mentality there also, right?
And the whole point is there is no governance. You pay cash, you get everything.
Yeah.
Take cash and everything is done. Government's a problem.
From a financial standpoint, so when we sat down with developers, we asked them, are you seeing any innovation in the way people are building these days? Are you seeing from the regular brick and mortar structures, are you seeing different forms of building, right? Then we went to the finances, the HDFC guy, we asked them, are you seeing different forms of financing and so on and so forth. We wanted to ask you the same question. Are you seeing any innovation in the real estate space, more from a transaction standpoint or from a, for example, we heard concepts like some hedge fund and land banks, stuff like that. Are you seeing any such things taking shape?
I don't say hedge funds and all will lose their money. I tell you, because half of the transactions are in cash. However big the builder is. Hedge fund do, unless they are very closely involved.
Right.
So, and again, it's a hedge fund would need to close the fund soon. These land banks are going to have a cycle of at least 3-4 years.
Correct, 3 years.
They can't hold for 4 years. 4 years they have to exit.
Right.
Here 4 years, the bloom will start in 4 years. And once there is a change in the policy, that bloom also will not start. There's nothing they can do. But only one point of innovation which should actually happen in the entire space is, if you look at the entire space, there is not a single builder who has taken a standpoint. That could be the biggest innovation from any point of view.
What do you mean?
The standpoint should be the, what is the standpoint is, a builder should take it as the only focus area. This is my standpoint, I am not going to budge whatever happens. One example I could give is, whatever is the market, my standpoint is my selling price is 3,200 rupees.
So core focus and
I have taken a standpoint. I am not going to deviate on this. There is not a thing. If you look at any builder, they are very market dynamic. Okay, there should be a mall, behind the mall put a property. Go. Everybody in the world will go. There is not a single builder who has a standpoint telling that this is my standpoint. I am not
tossing board. They're not tossing board rather.
Everything there. But no builder has got a standpoint. But if you look at any other industry, there are standpoints.
Right.
If you take the software industry, there are standpoints. If you take biotechnology,
So core value proposition basically.
and the single standpoint.
Single value.
One single value. They don't have anything. It's true. They want everybody will tell I do landscaping, I do that.
Everybody runs after arbitrage basically. I see our opportunity, I run for it. That's it.
But longer game would only be a standpoint. In fact, I've been telling so many of our clients, we need to actually value this standpoint. See, there is valuation of brand, there is valuation of human resources, there is land valuation, everything is there. But there is nothing called standpoint valuation. Correct. They need to understand what is the value of the standpoint. No builder has got a value.
I think the stock market will hit you, right? When they tell you, see, in your portfolio, you're doing a mishmash of stuff. If this is high valuation, whereas all these things are low valuation, they drag down the entire valuation, only as strong as the weakest link, right? Once that happens, then the conversations become very, very clear. Then you say, hey, okay, let me just focus on that and maximize my value.
But selling is very easy.
Also,
Selling will become so easy because the customer doesn't even have to bother about that.
Correct.
He has taken that as a hostage situation. He has told, okay, you go out. I'll have to tackle only that. He
Right.
already started.
Right.
So one standpoint in the thing is whatever may happen, my documents will be 100% clear. That's my standpoint. I will not do a business without a standpoint. The builder is so opportunistic, they don't even bother. If you take every builder is in legal assets. Right. There's nothing called, even if you, unfortunately, something like a company like the global giants on trust don't have a standpoint in real estate. They have a trust in all other companies.
Correct.
But when it comes,
So what's your view on REIT then? Real Estate Investment Trust.
I didn't get you.
Real Estate Investment Trust. You want to talk
So,
about?
yeah.
I didn't get you at all.
No, so there are different types of financing vehicles, right? I was actually going to ask you. So one is the evolution of this mortgage market. So in the US, they have these big organizations like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and so on. Like they took the mortgages onto their books and then later they repackaged
They just
sliced
keep
and
on
diced it.
leveraging the mortgage.
Yeah, exactly. And then send it back into the market. Made CDOs and send it back into the market, right? You see some such stuff happening here in this
Definitely,
country.
it would never happen.
Why do you say? Are you so confident?
I'm so confident because the regulation is pretty straight. I was reading one book of the Y.S. Reddy of Reserve Bank of India.
Okay.
When all these leverage instruments and CDOs buyout was happening in the US, they asked him, why is it you have not implemented anything in India? He just took a stand. It is a published book. He took a stand at that point of time telling, look, we don't understand what's happening. When we don't understand, we will not do it. And that is only India saved with us. Because of that, we were saved. Otherwise, we would have been in a bigger rot. And second, if you look at the psychology of the legal system in the country, those type of leverage instruments won't work. The reason being, let us talk about the situation of a funding arrangement. When Morgan Stanley or a Blackstone will come and fund, They have the best of the shareholders agreement, the best of the corporate governance document, your articles are restated, everything are done. And you have almost control of the company. Equity share is mine.
Yeah.
The company is mine. With all this, they don't have control of the promoter. If you have flexible instruments of leverage buyout, then they have control. They don't have any
Chaos.
control. It will be chaos with all this legal system. There is no control. So I don't, and if you look at the past history also, there has been hardly any changes in the financing pattern. There are a little bit of changes, okay. Now slowly some debenture instruments have come out, some convertible instruments have come out. But final fact remains that everybody wants the same thing. Of late we are getting some sort of a group fundraising companies with the case of SEBI approved fundraising instruments.
So crowdsourcing and so on.
Crowdsourcing, but it's not working. How many crowdsourcing has worked?
That was when we were, in the US and even in many parts of the Western world, right? People pull in money, equity money, and then they, from, like you said, from a crowd, in this case a bunch of investors, and they set up these real estate investment trusts.
Yeah.
And then these trusts go back and, purchase, skyscrapers and, other buildings. They manage the tenancy, they manage the facilities and maintenance, and they charge some management fee
And
for
then
that.
just pass it on to
Yeah, and
us.
then they guarantee a return to the investor, and above a certain return, they take, like a hedge fund, a 20% cut. On the
If you
investment cut.
look at the latest SEBI approval comes, a similar concept has already come here.
Fantastic.
But there are funds which I know in Bangalore, maybe at least 10 trillion of them.
Okay.
Nobody is able to raise money.
Okay, they're not able to raise
They're
money.
not able to raise money because the ticket sizes they are coming with is 25 lakh rupees to a crore of rupees. Firstly, they are run by professionals. They don't have a pedigree of real estate. They don't have a solvency. Who will put 1 crore of rupees with them?
You need to be from that industry, especially here.
Especially here. But I have not seen any fund succeed. I have not
That's
seen
important.
any fund succeed.
It's happening in a very unorganized way. Chartered accountants put together their clients and then they build and they manage the property and they go. So
That's about it. Chartered accountants are becoming builders.
Yeah.
But that type of concept where somebody will come like a Century in Australia and put somebody in Sydney will put a money in Century in Australia 1 crore of rupees and Century will manage it and give me returns. They just take a management fee and pass on the major income to me is not good.
But the laws allow that now.
Loss of it.
Fantastic.
But they structure it in a little different way where there will be an asset management company or the advisory company.
Okay.
They create a proper trust. It's a
Okay.
SEBI approved trust.
Okay.
And general public will put money in the SEBI approved trust. This money will go and buy a vehicle. And the vehicle will yield rental income or appreciation income.
Right.
Then based on the IRR, the money will come back to the trust. The trust will distribute to the investor.
Right.
The money goes to the advisory committee.
Right. Which is the general partners and so on.
General
Managing
partners. There
partners.
are many funds like that.
Okay.
But I have not seen anybody who has actually come out with it.
Successfully sort of done.
No, forget successfully. I have got a couple of clients who wanted to raise around 120 or 30 crores.
Okay.
I was able to raise 5 crores. With the pedigree of such talent, MBAs from IIM, the top guys in the industry, 6 top advisory board. I have got this builder as my advisor. I have not been able to raise 5 crores.
That's because the building business itself is so profitable right now. Who wants to put money into that, right?
And they are offering the IRR return of around 14%, 13%, 15%.
It's too low.
They tell, okay, I'll blindly put it in a fixed deposit. Yeah, why should I
Inflation is 10%. I mean, my real return is nothing. Yeah.
15% and I don't even know whether money is going to come back. Who are these guys? I don't know. In Bombay, not so. The lot of money is coming from Gujarat, Baroda, Surat. That bit, this money is coming.
Okay.
Money is coming.
Okay.
In Bangalore only, I've seen so many funds. I can give you a list of funds in
That
Bangalore.
would be great actually.
Lots of funds are there in Bangalore. I see a company called Atamas. I see a company called Azure. I see a company called Platinum.
Okay.
Vishweshwar company.
If this has to work, just out of curiosity, in your opinion, if this has to work, what kind of team should be in place?
The team should be Sushil Mantri, Salarpuria, Embassy, Prestige, all the 4 come together and start, then it will work.
So if Credai opens up this trust, do you think it will work?
No, I don't think so. Credit is okay. I mean,
So basically, you need the heaviest hitters.
the heavy seaters and tell look, we have done it already, now let us do it. It's a sort of a indirect publication.
Mm.
Makes sense.
Like that,
Yeah.
but a professional management team coming in would never work.
It should be a mix.
I mean, they should work in the background. They should make it all sort of come
They should all
together.
make it appear, but
The
just-
fundraising will not happen.
See, these big guys are not able to raise funds. Why would these guys raise funds?
But they would actually look at alternatives. That was their opportunity.
But the uncertainty is so high in this trust market because they don't have an exit route.
Yeah. Actually, that's an important point because can they actually issue shares into the share market and trade like equity?
No, they can't do it. The law doesn't allow it.
Oh,
The law doesn't allow it. They cannot share, they cannot transfer, they
Ah,
cannot
that's
assign.
what I was going to say.
They can, and it's a closed fund. The
Oh,
money
it is
must be
closed.
put in. You can't withdraw
So
it.
it's NAV is closed, and so you have to sort of.
You have to wait for it. The law is very well structured, beautiful system, so that no hanky-panky players will come. Good system. In fact, I have that sort of a write-up on the city circulars also. I'll mail it to you.
Sure, that would be great.
That's a bit, and it's quite popular in Bombay. Bombay has picked up.
It's not surprising, right? They first copy from the US and then that starts spreading.
Bombay has picked up because once in a while there's not a big sum of money in Bombay. In Bangalore, even today, it's a lot of money.
Right.
So to raise 100 crores in Bombay, probably you'll get maybe, if you raise 100 crores, you may, in Bandra or something, you may get 2 toilets. So what is the big deal after 100 crores in Bombay?
Sure.
And mostly chartered accountants spoil this business. Chartered accountants are the days who spoil this business. No problem, I'll take care. Nothing they do. Don't worry, do this, nothing they do. It's a mess. And you know, have you heard of something? The highest number of legal compliances in any industry is in real estate.
Not surprising, right? There's so many good
From
people.
labor to vendor to contract to employees to customer to land to real estate to FDI governance. Name it, it is there.
The real estate market is $150 billion. As back in 2010, that was the estimate of the real estate market in India. I think it's an underestimate. It's an underestimate. But let's say it's $150 billion.
$150 billion is how? $1 billion is 4,500 crores, 5,000
Yeah,
crores.
5,000
5,000 into $150 is just that's nothing.
50,000 to 50,000 crores. It's more than that. We know that. But let's say, let's assume that it's correct.
Nothing.
No, but let's assume it's correct, right? You know what is the size of the healthcare market in this country? $40 billion. 1/4 of that. That tells you something about how it works. That's why there's more regulation in that.
In fact, I was told this year, I mean, the highest contributing to GDP was real estate in Bangalore. And in spite of having half the transactions in black.
When we keep joking, if something happens to software and hardware, our underwear is also because software is related to real estate. Software is related to retail. Bangalore is only retail, software, real estate, nothing else.
So of course you'll see actually the guys who are doing the hard work are going to be drained away, but the politicians' money is still going to be intact.
Because they are not going to buy 2 apartments, 10 apartments, 20 apartments. They are not bothered.
So they'll just have their hand back.
They just have a land bank. And they don't even need the appreciation of land bank. That's why they don't sell. They don't want appreciation.
It's not market.
They just market. Who wants appreciation?
Managing the documents is going to be the biggest.
See, I don't want return. I just want safety. Let it lie there.
Absolutely.
I don't want return. So nobody is looking at a return game there.
That was fantastic.